This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, electric shock. Some Nova Scotia power customers are baffled by major jumps in their energy bills. Sexual harassment in the trades. A new report finds women are avoiding the well-paying sector because of difficult work conditions. And breaking barriers. How one Dartmouth coach is helping get more women and girls involved in soccer.
Northerly winds easing, the skies clearing, a nice Saturday shaping up ahead of our next system, which rolls in for Sunday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Nova Scotia power customers are speaking out about unusually high power bills. As of January 1st, rates jumped by 6.5%, and that's in addition to a similar rate hike last year. But as Angela McIver reports, some customers argue it still doesn't add up.
When Josh Fever opened his most recent power bill, he felt both stumped and defeated. The cost of electricity is more than his rent.
I'm constantly not able to sleep, worrying about how I'm going to be able to make my next bill, because getting a bill from Nova Scotia Power that's $1,600 or just about, on top of car payments and rent, and then I got my phone bill and feeding the animals. It's almost impossible.
Fever lives with his girlfriend in a 2-bedroom apartment on the top floor of an older home in Bridgewater. They have a heat pump, and Fever says they rarely touch the settings.
I got my computer plugged in, but everything else stays unplugged. We use one space heater for an hour in the morning, but...
In Pictou County, Danielle Fraser shares that feeling of disbelief. She says her habits haven't changed, yet her bill tripled.
It's not adding up that the consumption has increased so drastically over a certain period of time with no reasonable explanations.
Fraser has formally disputed her bill and now plans to appeal it. She has also signed a petition along with 2,600 others, including Reuben Coward of Lower Sackville.
We're complaining because we want to be treated fairly. We know by virtue of the sheer numbers of people that are complaining that fair treatment is not being dispensed to us at least.
According to Efficiency One, a nonprofit that helps people reduce their energy consumption, 43% of Nova Scotia households are experiencing energy poverty. That's defined as households spending more than 6% of its income on energy. Chris Lantang with Nova Scotia Power says they will work with customers to set up payment plans and refer them to organizations that can help. But when it comes to the smart meters monitoring consumption, he says they are accurate.
We are confident in the bills that are issued through the dispute resolution officer process over the course of the last few years. Since I've been with Nova Scotia Power, I am not aware of a meter that has been billing a customer wrong.
He says one factor to consider is that January was extremely cold in Nova Scotia, and that can drive up energy use. Angela McIver, CBC News, Westville.
All but one of the encampment sites being de-designated by the Halifax Regional Municipality are now vacant. The last person tenting in Victoria Park in downtown Halifax was moved out this morning. Work is continuing to restore the park, which is now largely fenced off. The city provided an update this morning about the process of de-designating encampment sites. 3 people are still living at the Grand Parade, which is also largely fenced off. The city says discussions continue on where they can go next. Sexual harassment runs rampant in the skilled trades in Nova Scotia. That is according to a new report from the YWCA Halifax. Through surveys and interviews, the nonprofit found the vast majority of women and gender-diverse people in the trades have been harassed at work. And as Taryn Grant reports, the harassment is driving women away from the sector.
When Kat Williams enters a workshop or construction site, she's prepared for unwanted attention.
Hey, sweetie, or someone hitting on me, or just saying something sexually inappropriate, joking with me in a really sexually inappropriate way, where it's like they thought that was funny, but it's like I did not.
She's been a carpenter for 10 years and loves the work, but the routine harassment has made her consider quitting.
Yes, many times, many times.
According to the YWCA, fewer than 10% of tradespeople in Nova Scotia are women. Of those surveyed, 91% say they've been harassed by colleagues. The harassers are almost always men, often in positions of power. The study's author says few people are surprised by the findings.
The idea that sexual and gender-based harassment occurs in the skilled trades is not something that's hard for people to believe. However, the magnitude of the problem is something that is still difficult for some people to accept.
Although difficult, Gill says the industry must accept it and commit to change in order to fix a growing worker shortage. This representative from the auto industry agrees.
I think yes, we'll probably get pushback, but at the same time, there's no choice. If you want to stay in business, you're going to need to increase and change the way you attract individuals to your business.
Nova Scotia's Labour Minister is looking at ways to curb harassment while trying to recruit 5,000 new apprentices in the next 3 years.
It's such an important conversation that we need to be having, and for those to voice their concerns, to share their stories, that's how change happens.
The YWCA report includes a series of recommendations, including the addition of sexual harassment to the Occupational Health and Safety Act. The minister says all the recommendations are being considered. Meanwhile, Williams says she hopes other women are not discouraged from entering the trades.
There's actually quite a lot of awesomeness to be had in building and creating and putting something together and then seeing it at the end of the day. That's why I don't want to walk away, because that is awesome.
Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
Opposition members have marked International Women's Day by questioning the Houston government about its decision not to limit the use of non-disclosure agreements in the cases of sexual assault or harassment. Prince Edward Island was the first province to do it, and opposition bills have been introduced in other legislatures, including in Nova Scotia. NDP leader Claudia Chender introduced her bill almost 2 years ago.
The legislation which we tabled, which is based on model legislation that has been introduced right around the world, including in Prince Edward Island, expressly gives victims the informed choice to enter into an agreement. The whole problem with the misuse of NDAs is that victims do not have an informed choice. They are forced to sign in exchange for money, and perpetrators go on to perpetrate abuse again and again and again.
But Premier Tim Houston remains convinced limiting non-disclosure agreements is not the way to go.
PEI is, I think, the only province in the country that has legislation. Obviously, we're looking at that. The other side of the coin is Manitoba, who did a complete law reform commission review and decided no changes. So, look, this is a really important discussion. We're having that discussion with Nova Scotians, and we'll continue to do so. But as it stands right now, today, this is where we're at.
Houston says his government will continue to examine the issue. A year after violence erupted at a Halifax area high school, the case is headed for a resolution. The teenager accused of attacking 2 staffers at Allen High School in Bedford is prepared to enter multiple pleas to multiple charges later this month. Blair Rhodes reports.
It happened in just a matter of moments. A vice principal and another school staffer were attacked in the school office. The teen suspect was also wounded and arrested on school grounds. For 8 hours after his arrest, while he was getting treatment at hospital, police were there recording everything. The boy's lawyer said that was a clear breach of their client's charter rights, and they asked that the charges against him be stayed. Judge Elizabeth Buckle agreed that the rights had been violated, but she said there are remedies short of throwing out the charges. She also addressed the fact that while the teen was in custody at the courthouse, a sheriff's deputy took a picture of him and posted the image and his name in a chat group, which was a clear violation of the publication ban. The sheriff was fired, and charges against him were dealt with through adult diversion. Once the judge ruled on the stay applications, the defense announced they were close to a resolution and would not require a trial. Instead, the case returns here on March 18th, at which time the team will enter pleas, there will be an agreed statement of facts put on the record, and a date will be set for sentencing. Blair Rhodes, CBC News, Halifax.
Nova Scotia health officials are keeping a close eye on measles cases. While there have been no cases in this province in 2024, those between the ages of 28 and 54 are encouraged to consider getting a second vaccine. Measles is making the rounds in other parts of Canada and in Europe.
It's a disease that can cause very severe illness in very young people as well as some older folks. So it is one of the most infectious viruses we know about. And that causes me concern because it can spread so quickly when people don't even know they have it. So I'm concerned that way. But am I panicking or thinking that people have to stay home or not travel or run out and make sure that they're getting blood tests? No, not in that way.
And I talked to infectious diseases expert Dr. Lisa Barrett about the resurgence of measles in Canada and abroad. That's our newsmaker just after 6:30. Okay, Ryan, so we've got a drier but colder day today as opposed to yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Temperatures certainly the big story today, and the noticeable drop in those temperatures with those northerly winds, Amy, and it's still chilly at this hour. As you can see, temps are going to be cool tonight with those northerly winds below the freezing mark, or at least pretty close to it, all across the province right now. And you can see those northerly winds, they have been the big story. Persistent 30, 40, 50 kilometers per hour right now, sustained winds. And when we factor in the gusts, yeah, we're gusting 50, 60 kilometers per hour in some spots, especially along that Atlantic coastline. Now, the northerly winds are going to ease tonight into tomorrow, but they're going to continue to be a factor in the forecast. And here's a good example. So highs on Saturday will only be in the 3-4 degree range, even cooler right in those onshore winds along the coast from Cape Breton across the Northumberland shore. Away from those northerly winds, we're going to be climbing into the 6, 7, even 8 degree range. Now, Yarmouth will see a bit of an onshore wind developing into the afternoon, so temperatures likely near 5 there, but 8 or 9 inland. Now, for Sunday, yeah, you can see temperatures in the mid-single digits, but those clouds, and yes, some wet weather moving back in. Here's how it all plays out. So nice day tomorrow in terms of that sunshine. A lot of it. We'll see some high cloud cover starting to roll in throughout the afternoon. Ahead of our next system, clouds really thicken up through the Saturday evening and overnight time period. And then that next system not moving in early on Sunday. In fact, Sunday morning is still looking dry, so there's some good news there. But we will be watching that rain tracking in throughout the afternoon from west to east, arriving into the evening for places like Cape Breton and the Northumberland shore. A few wet flakes on the northern edge of this, especially higher terrain areas, Mount Tom, Cobequid Mountains. But this is, for the most part, going to be a rainmaker as it tracks through. Generally 10 to 20 millimeters, maybe some 30 millimeter amounts along the Atlantic coastline. Some lingering showers into Monday and Tuesday, Amy, but for those looking way ahead into the March break, it does look quieter through the end of next week, and we'll have more details on that with your 7-day.
Yeah, lots of folks wondering about that.
For sure.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, the Federal Fisheries Department says it wants feedback on management measures for the reopening this spring of the redfish fishery in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The department wrapped up 4 days of meetings yesterday with the Industry Government Redfish Advisory Committee in Halifax. It says fishery participants now have until March 18th to submit additional input in writing before decisions on such things as catch limits are made. In January, Ottawa announced the moratorium put in place in 1995 would end this year with an initial minimum total catch quota of at least 25,000 tons. A Canadian market research firm is suing the mayor and town of Antigonish for defamation. Main Street Research and its president filed legal notice this week. The company ran 2 polls about the proposed consolidation of Antigonish town and county. One poll last month found more than 75% of respondents wanted a public vote on the issue. Well, speaking this week to a law amendments committee at Province House, Mayor Laurie Boucher said the company's survey didn't represent local demographics, but the company says that's not true.
It's a matter of saying, hey, you lied, you're an amateur, we understand, but you need to retract these comments to the committee, and she refused to do that. So didn't even acknowledge my email asking. I thought it was a very respectful email that I sent to the mayor. But she didn't even acknowledge it. So, you know, taking this step is not easy, and hopefully we'll see what the courts decide.
The mayor's comments may be protected by legislative privilege. If so, Maggie says it may be up to the committee chair to investigate next steps. Main Street is seeking $2 million in their lawsuit. The federal government is spending $2.5 million to support Indigenous women and youth entrepreneurs. Small Business Minister Rachel Valdez was in member two to make the announcement. The funding is expected to help 2,400 people. Mi'kmaq beadwork artist Andrea Dennis says the money will help artists navigate the business side of their craft while reconnecting them to their cultural traditions.
I love it because it's going to showcase more of people's coming out and doing their art, like even baskets or drink catchers or outfits. It'll show there'll be more of it out, which I'm really proud of.
The money will be delivered through the National Aboriginal Capital Corporations Association, which represents Indigenous financial institutions. In addition to startup capital, Minister Valdez says the association will also provide mentorship and other supports to reduce barriers for women in business. Well, the Dartmouth Soccer Club will be playing a role in a national event dedicated to women and girls in the sport. It's being hosted by Canada Soccer as part of a strategy to make the sport more inclusive. The women chosen to take part are being announced today for International Women's Day. Gareth Hampshire has that story.
Getting more women and girls involved in soccer has been a big focus for United DFC, and they're going to be sharing how they've been doing it. They've been chosen to present to the Idea Day conference, which stands for Inclusion, Diversity, Equity and Accessibility. Representatives from the club have experience of breaking through barriers in the game themselves.
Sometimes it doesn't always feel like a safe space. It takes a lot of courage sometimes to be the only female or the, one of 2 or 3 females in a room with all the male coaches.
To try to create safer spaces, she developed a program called Winspire that brings together female and gender diverse leaders. It has become a platform where ideas are shared to make the game more inclusive. Canada has one of the strongest national women's teams in the world and is keen to make sure the game's welcoming to everyone at the grassroots level.
The numbers just show women and girls in soccer, in particular in sport in Canada, you tend to drop out at significant rates as they grow through. So finding a lot of those spaces that you can learn and thrive and grow.
Just some really magical stuff is happening.
Ideas that emerged through the Winspire initiative have been launched as new programs, like the Safe Space program, tailored for teens who might not be comfortable in conventional gender-based teams, and a women's beginner kick-around for those who might never have kicked a ball before.
It just kind of builds that space where you see that pathway that you could see yourself on, whereas I think we didn't always have that.
Canada Soccer's impressed with the things United DFC is doing to get more women and girls in the sport. It wants it to be a part of the event because it thinks clubs from around the country can learn from its examples.
We're sure that some people will reach out to us that have a passion for girls in sport, and then we will reach out to them as well, and we'll be able to make connections, and together we can grow the game.
The event's being held online on March 21st. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Dartmouth.
Coming up, hopes of an Israel-Hamas ceasefire before Ramadan starts tomorrow are diminishing. But there is a new international effort to get aid to Gaza. There's a peek at Little Harbor today. Ryan is back next with the full weather forecast. We will see you after the break. All right, so we deserve a good Saturday, and it sounds like we're getting one.
Well earned.
Yep.
And make sure you get out, soak up some of that vitamin D. Be mindful that the northerly winds are still going to be a factor tomorrow. So if you're along the Northumberland shore in Cape Breton in particular, it will really feel cooler along the coast than it will inland. But overall, I think we'll take the sun.
We will.
Especially after what has been a pretty soggy week. Now, this rainfall map includes some Wednesday morning rain. Remember, we had that little system that came through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So that did linger into the east. So that does include that little system there for eastern areas. Just be mindful of that. But yeah, either way, since Wednesday morning to Friday morning, 48-hour totals, you can see definitely a good soaking, across a good portion of the region and into the Yarmouth area. 72 millimeters, one of the higher spots for sure. Now, as we look at those temperatures out there right now, we're at the freezing mark or just below. In many cases, back row though at +2 in Shelburne County, there 1 to 2 degrees. Now, as we look at the winds, those again have been the story today. They will continue to be the story tonight and will be a factor in that forecast for tomorrow, as we said earlier, with that northerly wind that's going to be an influence. Now, the winds will kind of shift into the afternoon, as you will see, and again, this is the time of year where we're going to have to be really so mindful about the wind direction because it will influence our temperatures as we turn into the warm season. You can see gusts right now, widespread 40, 50, even some 60 kilometer per hour gusts in the Halifax area. Weather systems, and you can see there's that cloud that is still persistent over eastern areas, starting to see some breaks in the west right now, and we will be continuing to see some breaks as this storm departs. And yes, Newfoundland, the St. John's region looking very likely now to see totals in the 60 to 80 centimeter range by the time that storm is done with them. So definitely a big snowmaker. This is our next system, which is gaining steam right now in through this eastern half of the U.S. That's going to push in with some wet weather for us for Sunday, but we do have that area of high pressure moving in. And we'll be able to enjoy some sunshine for tomorrow, as we said. Temperatures across North America, look at the cold air plunging in on the other side of the system. Oklahoma City just at 3, Houston at 27. And again, that is those temperature contrasts that these storms need this time of year. Okay, so for tonight, temperatures are going to be dropping into the -3 to -4 range. Those northerly winds will ease. 40 gusting 60 and then 20 gusting 40 throughout the overnight across the mainland. Still pretty persistent 40 gusting 60 for a good portion of tonight in through Cape Breton. So tomorrow morning, lots of sunshine to start the day. We're going to be seeing again some temperatures along the coast, likely a little milder. And tomorrow afternoon, we're off to the races with that sun. And again, note those temps and those onshore winds are going to be cooler. The clouds building in to western and then central areas throughout the afternoon and really thickening up through tomorrow evening. So I do have 3 here, Sydney, Ingonish, and Inverness. But if you're right along the water in the Sydney metro area or in Cape Breton, it's going to be more like 1. But we will get into the 3, 4, 5 degree range, even possible down through the Bredora Lake area for tomorrow. Similar story for the Northumberland shore. I put highs of 4 and 5 here, but if you're right along the water in the Northumberland Strait with those northerly winds tomorrow, more like 1 degree along parts of the coast. And as we look into the Amherst and through the Valley region, temperatures again warming as you work your way to the west. Winds are going to become light into the afternoon, but a bit of an onshore flow here developing, so I think temperatures will be cooler Liverpool, Shelburne into the afternoon. Inland, though, places like Kedzie, that's our best chance at double digits tomorrow. We'll be in the Kedzie Park area, 7 and 8 degrees in the Halifax area with winds becoming light. There's Sunday, clouds and yes, rain rolling in from west to east. Cape Breton not seeing that rain until the evening, and there is again that rain, couple of wet flakes possible, especially over higher terrain areas. This will be again a pretty soggy Sunday evening with some gusty southerly winds. 10 to 30 millimeters looking set from this one, especially along the Atlantic coastline. So a pretty solid drink again. And then some lingering unsettledness for Monday and into Tuesday of next week with showers and flurries. We'll clear the skies through Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon looking solid and Thursday looking solid. And yes, don't forget to spring forward. We are gaining more than 3 minutes per day right now. And yes, have a look at those sunrise and sunset times next week, Amy. Hello, 7 p.m. hour sunsets.
That sounds pretty good to me.
It certainly does.
All right, thanks for that, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, up next, I'll talk with infectious diseases expert Dr. Lisa Barrett, and I'll ask about the rise of measles cases in Europe and here in parts of Canada. That's our newsmaker. Stay with us. You're watching CBC Nova Scotia News. Public health officials in Nova Scotia are urging anyone between the ages of 28 and 54 to consider getting the measles shot. This week, the province's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Robert Strang, said anyone born between 1970 and 1996 likely has just one shot. He's recommending one more. And there's a growing number of measles cases in Europe, and some have now popped up in parts of this country. I'm joined now by infectious diseases expert Dr. Lisa Barrett. First off, how concerned are you about the number of cases of measles that are being reported these days?
Well, I'm concerned in the way that we didn't talk about measles for so long because it was so under control in most countries. And so to see that not true anymore, including in the US and even some cities in Canada having more cases than we've seen in a while, that is concerning to me. It's a disease that can cause very severe illness in very young people as well as some older folks. So it is one of the most infectious viruses we know about. And that causes me concern because it can spread so quickly when people don't even know they have it. So I'm concerned that way. But am I panicking or thinking that people have to stay home or not travel or run out and make sure that they're getting blood tests? No, not in that way.
Now, the province is recommending some Nova Scotians, those born between 1970 and 96, to get another shot. What about folks born before 1970? Why wouldn't they need a second vaccine?
Yeah, so the vaccine itself, to be protected from the vaccine very, very, very well, it is a 2-dose vaccine series. And what that means is to get the most bang for your buck, you need 2 doses. And why do we care suddenly? Well, because people are going to be traveling potentially to places where there are measles, and we know 2 doses is your best approach to getting the best protection for yourself and everyone around you. People born between 1970 and 96 may only have gotten 1 dose of vaccine, and therefore if you're going to go somewhere that has measles around in the environment, then we're recommending folks consider getting another dose in the next while. People born before 1970, we consider most of those folks to be immune because they ran into measles in their childhood. They may not have gotten vaccinated, probably didn't, and therefore we're recommending those folks get a dose of vaccine to keep them protected.
And if people aren't sure, should they get another shot just in case?
Yeah, we do recommend folks check back on their vaccine records, but clearly, most of us have a little bit of trouble finding that. If you can't talk to someone or remember from your childhood that you've had measles, it's worth talking to your healthcare provider about whether or not you should get a dose of vaccine if you're going to travel. And these days, it's hard to know where you're going to run into measles. So traveling in the next while, especially to areas where there's known measles, and some of those common areas include Florida, airports, a couple of cities in Canada have some cases of measles at the moment. Check with your health provider, and if you aren't sure, getting a dose of measles vaccine is safe, and it's also going to provide you with some protection.
And where are they available? At your doctor or pharmacy? Is it easy to find?
Yeah, well, don't forget, this measles, it's given as measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, is a common thing that 12-month-old and later on kids get. So this is available in many places, including some family doctor offices, but best to check online where you can get your doses of vaccine. There is a link. If you can't figure out how to find it online by searching Nova Scotia vaccine measles, then make sure you get a family member to help you. There's also some mobile clinics, potentially some pharmacies that are going to be offering it as well. So up to the minute information, make sure you check online. And if you're getting ready to travel in the next few weeks, sooner than later is better because you want a couple of weeks for that vaccine to boost up your immunity and make sure you have protection before you get on those planes.
Well, why do you think we are seeing a rise in cases now, do you think?
Yeah, there's some easy proposed solutions or problems that are contributing to that. Lots of research, and we need to do the research to figure out the real reasons. But a couple of things. One, there was some decrease in the uptake of childhood vaccines in certain areas for measles, mumps, and rubella during the time of COVID. But also there's some hesitancy out there about getting regular old vaccines among people, probably a combination of the two. So just a reminder, this is a vaccine that's been used for decades, very, very safely. And it is unlike flu and COVID that just prevent you from getting severe disease, but not necessarily sick. The measles vaccine is close to 95-98% to prevent you from getting infected. So really effective and really, really a safe vaccine. Please remember that.
All right. Well, Dr. Barrett, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up, we head to the red carpet as Hollywood gets ready for its biggest night. The Oscars will be handed out on Sunday. Welcome back. A new international effort is hoping to bring some relief to Palestinians in Gaza. The plan is to send desperately needed humanitarian aid by sea from Cyprus. It is a joint initiative by the U.S., Britain and EU and the United Arab Emirates. And it could begin as early as this weekend. The CBC's Margaret Evans has more from the region. But first, some of what you're about to see may be disturbing.
Jerusalem's Damascus Gate and the flow of Muslim worshippers to Al-Aqsa Mosque for Friday prayers, the last before the holy month of Ramadan. Well-worn paths and well-worn tensions. Israeli border police stopping young Palestinian men from entering. Hopes of an Israeli-Hamas ceasefire ahead of Ramadan have all but disappeared, and there is skepticism amongst Palestinians here over the plans for a humanitarian sea corridor to ease the suffering of their brethren in Gaza. I'm suspicious about what's driving the United States, says this man. All they care about is the Israeli population. There are land routes to deliver aid directly, says Omar, not through the ocean. The European Commission president unveiled details of a plan for a coalition of the willing to ship aid from Cyprus.
We're now very close to the opening of the corridor, hopefully this Sunday.
Israeli officials appear open to it, but it's a clear sign of Western frustration with Israel and its failure to let more aid into Gaza. The UN saying a quarter of the population there is on the brink of famine. The European move follows Washington's announcement that it will build a floating port off Gaza's coast, but it will take weeks. And critics say the plan gives Israel permission to simply carry on its military campaign regardless of the cost to civilians.
And so giving Israel no restraint, no substantive constraint on money and weapons.
People in northern Gaza are so desperate for food, they continue to surround any sign of aid arriving. These patients at Al-Shifa Hospital say Israeli troops fired at them when they did. We run towards the aid because we're hungry, says Mohammed Atta. I'm married and have 3 daughters who ask for flour and meat. Further south in Rafah, more airstrikes and more funerals for those caught in their path, including the smallest of victims. Instead of telling us they will build a port to help us, says Hassan Maslah, tell them to stop providing Israel with the weapons they throw at us. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Jerusalem.
StatsCan says the employment rate fell slightly last month, even as the economy saw a net job increase of 41,000. A high population growth outpaced the job gains in February, pushing up the unemployment rate to 5.8%. Alberta and Nova Scotia experienced the biggest increases. Manitoba registered a decline. The rest of the country saw little change. Another statistic, though, suggests fewer jobs overall. The proportion of employed Canadians over 15 has gone down for 5 straight months. Equal pay and better gender representation is the focus on International Women's Day, but the latest StatsCan numbers show women take home, on average, 87 cents for every dollar earned by a man. And there's little to celebrate even when it comes to gender equality in the boardroom. Nisha Patel has that story.
We've all had to break through traditional barriers.
These women are on a mission to bring more balance to the boardroom.
It's still something that we need to work hard on and that I'm encouraging at the board level.
They're coming together to network and mentor and give a boost to women in fields that are traditionally dominated by men.
There's data to prove the more diverse your board is, the better the decision making.
New numbers from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce suggest progress has been slow, and Canada is falling behind countries such as the U.S., Mexico, and Hungary. Women make up almost half of the workforce, but hold just 21% of board seats. And if the current trend continues, women won't reach parity in senior management this century.
The importance of boards here is that
There are trickle-down effects of these low representation numbers on how management looks like in the rest of the company.
Researchers say businesses with outdated corporate culture often prevent women from advancing beyond middle management, and that needs to change.
Making sure that we're holding corporations and other stakeholders accountable in terms of their ability to promote and recognize women.
Advocates urge companies to track hiring and promotions and offer opportunities for upskilling and flexible work.
We have managed to at least put a proper crack in the glass ceiling.
Some aren't waiting for companies to act, instead making equality the law. The EU has mandated that by 2026, big companies must ensure that women hold 40% of the seats on their board. For now, these women in business are pushing hard.
Seeing those women in those positions kind of drives me and shows me that I can make it there too.
I left my own country, my comfort zone, to do something, to make an actual impact. So that is what I want to do.
Hoping one day soon, they'll get their own seat at the table. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Meanwhile, France marked International Women's Day with an historic ceremony enshrining the right to abortion in the Constitution. And this was the scene earlier today in Paris. France is the first country in the world to make abortion a right under the Constitution. Lawmakers voted overwhelmingly in favor of the amendment on Monday. Abortion has been legal in France since 1974. An Ottawa community is in shock and mourning today after the worst mass killing in the city's recent history. 6 people, including 4 children, killed in their home in the Barrhaven neighborhood. The sole survivor, a man who has lost his wife and kids in that attack. Matthew Kupfer brings us the latest.
Through the night and today, the makeshift memorial continues to grow near the site of a mass killing that has shaken Ottawa and sent waves around the world. 4 young children, between 7 years and 2 months old, their mother and a family acquaintance died. The children's father survived and is still in hospital. This community leader at the Buddhist temple visited Danushka Wickramasinghe today.
One of the things he said was that, he was thankful for the strength. He felt the strength from the community, from Ottawa, from the Sri Lankan community and from Canada. And he said that's keeping him strong.
He says he was surprised when the conversation turned to Fabio de Souza, who is living with the family and is now accused of 6 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder.
To me, he said, you know what, he's a 19-year-old kid. You can see that he thought about that side, the accused side too, that we should have compassion towards him as well.
The victims and the accused are all Sri Lankan nationals. Their High Commission has been informing next of kin, including the family that was relying on 40-year-old Gamini Amarakun, the other adult victim.
He has 2 kids and a wife and a mother and a sister whom he was supporting. So that also is a very a tragic news for them.
The Deputy High Commissioner says the accused has the right to consular services, but that officials have not been in contact with his family. They are supporting families in making funeral and travel arrangements where necessary. Meanwhile, the High Commissioner and staff will join a vigil in Barrhaven tomorrow, where a community is coming together to grieve the loss of a family. Matthew Kupfer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Alberta's agricultural industry is facing a challenge. Not a lot of the province's young people are choosing it for a career, so there was a big push at this year's Lethbridge Ag Expo to try and change that. Jose Arete reports.
Young people get to play with the latest equipment and meet industry experts at the Ag Expo. Organizers hope it encourages more of them to enter the industry, which is in need of a younger workforce. But why aren't more youth taking up agriculture? For one, cost.
It's pretty tough because of land prices right now. They're crazy.
It's especially hard for those who aren't from farming families.
Mainly farmers inherit their land. So for someone to start so young, land is a huge investment.
They say the type of work may not appeal to their peers because it's really a 24-hour job.
You have to harvest at night, and it's just a hard thing on your body and on your mind.
And the industry may not offer safety.
If you have a bad year or two, then it can cause you to go to bankruptcy and you'll have to sell your farm.
But those in the industry say there's more opportunities for young people than they might think.
They don't need to drive a tractor or know how to chase cows or that sort of thing.
They say agriculture has gone more high-tech, which can be a benefit.
The tractors using the GPSs and stuff, it's hard for the older generation to navigate that. So say kids growing up with the technology coming into it, they can bring a lot to the table.
At the Ag for Life career fair, 140 high school students learned about different career paths, from seed science to finance and marketing.
There's a lot more in the industry than just farming. There's all the seed companies, there's all the research companies, that it's all part of the puzzle.
Organizers say dual credit programs and internships can help the next generation see if agriculture is for them. Osei Irete, CBC News, Lethbridge.
Hollywood's biggest night is just days away. Final preps are underway for the Oscars, and excitement is building ahead of Sunday's star-studded glitzy event. Eli Glasner has this report from the red carpet in Los Angeles.
The Oscars are just about here. I am happy to report we are back on the red. Yes, it is red once again, red carpet. And as you can see right now, this carpet's very much a work in progress. It's essentially a construction zone as they're getting ready for Sunday. This is where all the stars will be parading down, will be over there. The question is, which one of those stars, the directors, the actors, will go home with one of those statues, with that golden glory? There are a lot of tight races this year. Let's start with one of the most fascinating ones, and that is Lily Gladstone versus Emma Stone. We are talking about Gladstone, who has the potential to make history as the first Native American to win in the Best Actress category for her remarkable performance as the anchor, as the soul of that amazing film by Martin Scorsese. But then, in the other corner, you've got Poor Things, starring Emma Stone as this kind of feminist Frankenstein fable, an amazing film which has won for Emma in some of the smaller categories. Now, there are many Canadians in the running this year, but one of the best films to cheer for is Past Lives, directed and written by Celine Song, but she is competing in the original screenplay category. And right now, Anatomy of a Fall, the movie from France, is widely touted to win that category. But could Song create an upset? Certainly a lot of Canadians will be cheering her on and hoping. Now, of course, the Oscar producers are hoping that the ratings will be strong and rising. There's always questions about who will tune in, and one of the levers they have to try and bring the audience is, of course, the movies. We got big box office this year with Oppenheimer and Barbie, but also some big stars with the presenters. Zendaya, fresh off the desert, will be here as a presenter and presumably on the red carpet. Canada's very own Oscar winner Brendan Fraser will be here. Catherine O'Hara will be presenting, and Ryan Gosling treating us with one last performance as I'm Just Ken before he retires that hilarious character. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Los Angeles.
So I guess we can complain about all the rain we had, but there's always someone who's got it worse, right?
Yeah, and of course, St. John's and the Avalon Peninsula, as we mentioned earlier in the program, getting crushed by a huge snow. The same storm hit us that brought the rain to us, bringing epic amounts of snow to them, even for their standards. Looks like 80, maybe 90 centimeters possible.
Got to feel for them.
And they've just pulled the plows off the roads on the Avalon Peninsula this evening.
You know it's bad when.
You know it's bad when. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. And for this, we're going to zoom in on the Northumberland shore again. And beautiful shot from Malagash. How about this? Yes, beautiful when the tide is out, but the ice still in the mix there. This was a couple of days ago. Thanks to Carl for sharing this, and expecting to see lots of big blue sky pictures coming in for tomorrow. And you can see what a beautiful day. Temperatures 3-4 degrees in the northeast, and we'll climb into the 6, 7, 8, and 9 degree range in the south and west. Terrific day indeed. 3, 4, 5 degrees, so at least still mild on Sunday with that rain tracking in from west to east throughout the afternoon. We'll time it out for you again. And don't forget, we're losing an hour as we work our way into the Sunday morning time period as we spring forward. There's that rain tracking into western areas throughout the afternoon, eastern areas throughout the evening, and with some lingering showers and flurries into early next week.
There you go. Well, a 29-year-old New York woman has sailed her way into the record books. She is the first American woman to race solo and non-stop around the world. Have a look. Yeah, it's quite a celebration. Family and friends welcomed Cole Brower back to dry land in Spain yesterday. She sailed out from the same spot 130 days ago to circumnavigate the globe on her 12-meter sailboat.
While approaching Cape Horn, Brower hurt her ribs, yet despite the injury, she managed to make the necessary repairs and continue sailing. Brower was the only woman and the youngest in the event, racing against 15 competitors.
Congratulations.
Yeah, big congrats.
Well, that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend.